Girona are headed to the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu to face Real Madrid in what will be a top-of-the-table clash. A victory here against Los Blancos could see Girona regain their first position in La Liga. Although what's getting in the way of this huge matchup in what is the biggest game in Spanish football this season, as you may know if you've been following the channel and watched some of my previous videos, I've made videos about Real Madrid and I've made videos about La Liga talking about controversial decisions made by referees and by VAR. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about Girona and their recent history in La Liga. So for most of their history, Girona have played in the lower divisions and didn't qualify for La Liga until the 2017-18 season, where they had their highest finish ever at 10th place. And now this season, they're actually competing and fighting for that title run. They've held that first place spot for at least a couple of weeks. Now, they did trail down to second after dropping points to Real Sociedad last weekend. But you have to think about it. A team that had the goal to avoid relegation this season are now title contenders. With after 23 games, they have 17 wins, 5 draws, and 1 loss. Is absolutely incredible and an insane accomplishment already. Not only that, they don't have that much of the season left. We're almost 75% done with this season, so it's a real possibility that they'll at least stay in top 4. However, ahead of this clash, Girona are going to be missing some key players like Daley Blind and Yangel Herrera, both due to suspension, as well as coach Miguel, who will also be watching from the stands after an 88th minute red card against Real Sociedad last weekend. These suspensions are literally because of what happened in that Real Sociedad game. Girona were under a lot of pressure as they are continuing to fight in the title race, and so they desperately need the points, especially against a club like Real Sociedad, who are doing also very well this season, being in the top 6 of La Liga. So the biggest talking point of that last game was when Herrera opened the scoring 1-0 around the 22nd minute in the first half, where the decision on the field was a goal. However, the VAR official informed the head referee that the Girona winger Savio was offside way earlier, about 40 seconds earlier in the play, and told him that the goal should not stand, and that's what happened. The goal was disallowed offside. And now the reason that this is controversial is the play where the Girona winger was offside happened 37 seconds before the actual goal was scored. And from there, there's been a couple touches from different players from Girona. The players are arguing that VAR should not have interfered in something that has happened so far before the goal was scored. There were a couple chances here and there, and then Real Sociedad managed to score, but the decision was also ruled out due to offside. Then, like I said before, in the 88th minute, Miguel was shown a red card for protesting against a foul that wasn't called on one of his players. So in the refereeing report at the end of the game, the reasoning that head referee Gil Manzano gave the red card to Miguel was, and I quote, leaving the technical area and repeatedly disputing one of my decisions. Then Girona's legal team said that red card was completely inappropriate for the actions that happened and that he had not disrespected or insulted anyone, just voiced disagreement with the decisions, which is a completely valid reason for not being sent off. Like, you don't get sent off just by disagreeing with the referee. That will definitely result in a yellow card, but to a red, it's very extreme. Blind's booking, which ultimately leads to a suspension for too many yellow cards, says that repeatedly making technical observations, and I honestly don't even know what that means. What it says here is that Girona maintained that the Dutchman had just asked the official in English why only 2 minutes added on. Their legal team provided a video that showed he had just asked for clarification, and the referee booked him for asking why only 2 minutes were added on at the end of the stoppage. So I don't know. It's just a huge mess of what's going on in Spain right now. All of these decisions are being appealed by Girona. They are going to the Spanish Federation. They're trying to get these overturned because they just simply think it's not correct and it's not fair. Girona were also angry about the amount of time that was added on. After the game, this is what Coach Miguel had to say about the VAR decision. It's a mistake by VAR. You cannot re-referee an incident from 40 seconds previous. You cannot start to rewind through the entire game. But this isn't really the most controversial thing that the referees have done in recent times. There's been a lot of questionable decision-making in terms of VAR at the Real Madrid versus Almeria game, which I've made a video about and a TikTok about, so you should go check that out. There has been audio leaks of what they've been saying in the VAR room, which would surprise a lot of you. I don't think I'm allowed to put it in here, but I will link it somewhere in the description where you can go check it out for yourself. But after the leak of the VAR audio was published to the media, the Spanish Football Federation, they filed a police complaint and launched an internal investigation on the Referee Association. Arguably, Vinicius Jr. scored a goal with his hand. There have been other fouls previous to that. In the audio leaks, you can hear that VAR acknowledged these incidences that happened throughout the match, and they choose to ignore it. Real Madrid have also been complaining about referee decisions against them, especially in the game against Atletico Madrid or the Madrid derby. Barcelona claimed the same way. Xavi says that they could be, more in the title race if it wasn't due to some questionable refereeing decisions. So it just seems like there's a common trend, especially within the top clubs in La Liga, who really complain about these refereeing decisions and how it's impacting their season and how they could be in a better position if the right call was made. I know that was like a mouthful. So it's just, a lot of teams are not happy with the decision making. I personally believe that La Liga is an amazing league. It's one of the best leagues in the world, and it's very entertaining to watch. But at the same time, all of these discussions about refereeing decisions and how bad referees are or how corrupt teams are is really damaging that reputation. A lot of people have their own opinions, but it's really unfortunate to kind of see this fight between the clubs, the players, and the referees, where obviously the referees are trying to do their best and officiate the game as best they possibly can, and they have VAR to back them up to correct their decisions if there is a mistake on the field. But it just seems that that is not happening, or it's not being used correctly, which is not really a La Liga problem. A lot of leagues complain that VAR is not being used correctly, but regardless, we'll see what will happen this weekend. Hopefully there won't be too much controversy in terms of any VAR decisions or refereeing decisions that completely change the game, because it would suck to see either Real Madrid or Girona win over some messed up call that takes place either on the field or through VAR. But I would love to know what you think about the whole situation in Spain, about referees, about these clubs complaining about the decisions being made. Do you think that corruption does exist in La Liga? Do you think that something is going on behind the scenes that we are not aware of? I don't know. I would like to think that there isn't. I would just like to think that these are human beings making mistakes, but there is a point to where when a referee makes too many mistakes, especially in high pressure games like this, and especially for this weekend, there has to be some sort of penalty against them, or there has to be some sort of disciplinary action against them. But that is not my call to make. I just say the news and give my slight opinion at the end. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Who do you think is going to win this weekend, Real Madrid or Girona? I think that it will be a tie, a 2-2 tie. I'm kind of rooting for Girona as the underdogs, as I've always kind of root for the underdog in a situation like this. And thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you did find it informative. Leave a like and a comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you to everybody who has done that so far. We have really grown in this last month, and I just want to give all my thanks and appreciation to everyone. Follow all my socials in the links down below in the description, and check out any other video on the channel that you might find interesting. I'll leave the one about Real Madrid. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.